Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up. Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants aren't getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing, mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks that new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to stick the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think the kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yeah, let's get it on. One of those days. I know you're used to it, so it's all good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Tuesday, the 13th of January, 2026. Yes, 26, and good to see you here. And I'm seeing some new names in the chat. That's kind of cool. That's been a while since that's happened because I don't know. But anyway, we're here to do that thing and talk about what's happening in the world and obviously in my state, because my state seems to be the center of the universe right now, at least as far as American news. So anyway, music biz, Marty. What is that? I'm not. What? No. Anyway, but I do sing. I love to sing. Anyway, so let's do our thing. I'm just gonna say hi to everybody and get it going because I'm a little bit late, and you know how that goes. First in the chat today and getting the bell is Mr. Avocados Diabli. There you go. And your theme song also. Good morning, Somnambule Nation, Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blarg, Lewis is in the house, Louie. Ms. Wild Wolf, Skella08, aka Midnight, our young friend, Kara Soldier, I think I said already. Yes, I did. Also, good morning to, I'm scrolling. Did I just say Attack Alpaca? I don't think it did. Blue Eyed Screams in the house. What's up? Tone Tech, what's up? Our new friend, and he doesn't have the cap. You don't have the caps lock on today. I'm proud of you. Something about a turkey. Oh, you fell asleep because of the turkey. I got you. Who else is here? Oh, there's Attack Alpaca. I see you now. And then Aaron Meredith, what's up? Good morning to Tall Person. Hey, nice to have you here. Hi. Hoy to you too. And then a couple new names. What's the new name here? Datura Riapsicus Jones. Which I'm just going to start calling, I'll just call you Basketball Jones. Basketball Jones. I got a Basketball Jones. I got a Basketball Jones. Oh, baby. Ooh. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Okay, Darren Root, hello. And also the Pope, Tyrannius III, the Blessed Lich with the daily message of hope from not the Father, not the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. And today's message is, blessing of the Holy Ghost. Think about a simple problem and a complex one. Know this, you can solve both with patience and time, no matter the complexity. Trust yourself. He has your back. Very nice message. Very nice message. Today, we're here. Who else is here? Maybe, hey, by the way, can you spell that out phonetically for me? The Daedalus Riapicus Jones. Otherwise, you're going to be Basketball Jones forever. Also, I just saw an odd 1, 2, 3. So anyway, good to see you all here. And boy, oh boy, are we chatting up a storm. Today's coffee's brought you into the Grandpa Cup, established 2022. We're just about to celebrate the second grandchild's second birthday in coming up here at the end of the month. Well, actually, oh no, it's today. Today is my youngest granddaughter. Well, there's only two. There's an older and a younger. Just Datura Jones. Okay, thank you, Datura Jones. Oh, thank you, Datura. It's grandbaby number 2's second birthday today, and we're excited about that. The grandbaby number 1, her birthday is in March, and grandbaby number 3 is due in May. So my daughter just doing her thing. and loving them kids, and she's doing a great job with them. Gosh, the older one, the one who's going to be 4, she's reading basic words. She has a vocabulary that's out of this world, and she's just so cute. And so yeah, we love it. So happy birthday to my dear Marina. Okay, let's see what else we got going here. Let's get into the world stuff. Today, today's holiday. I was gonna. Here it is. Wait a minute. You're gonna like this. The featured holiday today. If you know anyone who drives a Jeep, congratulate. Oh, Miss Wild Wolf's here too. I'm currently doing. Where was the outrage design for a post I'm doing? Oh, yeah. I think I know where that's going. Today's holiday that we feature is today. It's National Rubber Duck Day for all you Jeep drivers. And I'm afraid to scroll because the word rubber's in it, and you never know what's going to show up in my timeline with random words. But anyway, tall person said something. Okay, may your first child be a masculine child. Wait, what are you talking about? My children are having children. Anyway, National Rubber Duck Day. Go figure. Now, look at that. This is from this is Batman Returns, or one of the Batman ones where they had that Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. It's funny when we were in, where was it? Naperville, Illinois. Okay, it's a suburb of Chicago. We were actually staying in Lisle, but downtown Naperville has this beautiful little Riverwalk area and a bunch of shops and stuff. Cool place. But they had all these like giant, they weren't made of rubber, but these giant rubber duck looking things all over town. And I don't know, it just made me think of that. I was curious if I scrolled through here here, let's try this. Let's look this up. Naperville ducks. Let's see if anything shows up. I should probably not do that with that. You never know what's going to show up. Devils dominate. Okay, that didn't work. Anyway. All right. So anyway, happy National Rubber Duck Day. Other holidays today include National Sticker Day. Which, if you say that wrong, it could be National Stick Her Day. Oh yeah. No. God, I'm just so weird. Let me enjoy my coffee here. Also, Korean American Day for our Korean American friends. Make Your Dreams Come True Day. National Peach Melba Day. Yum. National Catherine Day, because, it's also Kathleen. So anyone who could be called a Kathy, it's their day. So if you know anyone who can be a Kathy, that would be the day to celebrate them. Poetry Break Day. Public Radio Broadcasting Day, which could be in jeopardy, and Stephen Foster Memorial Day, the great composer Stephen Foster. So there you go. There's the holidays for today. In the news, and on a sad note, good morning, Special Can Acid on my list of favorite Canadians. I shouldn't even say honorable mention list. You're just on my list of favorite Canadians. How's that sound? So Ernie's favorite day. Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky, you're the one. Rubber Ducky, having fun. I don't know the rest of the song, but yeah, Ernie's favorite day, Rubber Ducky Day. PDawgKnight, Naperville has a yearly rubber duck race. Is why. Do they down that little down the Riverwalk thing? Okay, that sounds cool. I think I even knew that because one of my very good friends from college lives in Naperville. I think they were talking about that. It's kind of a fun time. So anyway, that's good. That's some good trivia. Why they have the ducks everywhere? Because they had all these painted ducks. They were kind of cool. I might have to show a video of that or sometime. But anyway, okay. Sad note. On a sad note, Scott Adams, the creator of the comic Dilbert and political pontificator on the internet, sadly has gone into hospice care. He's been ill for a while. He's been facing death. Here's let's see. Someone says perfect explanation of the Scott Adams effect. Well, let's see what Cernovich says about it. Scott Adams facing death shows us how to live. Someone recommended How to Fail Almost Everything and Still Win by Scott Adams. I had burned out on mainstream books, but picked it up and I was hooked. He had put it into words, a way of living similar to one I had found, except his approach was systemic and analytical. Better than my own slapdash notes outside of religious texts, Scott Adams was and is as close to a guide to life as you'll ever find. And even if you're religious, you still live in this world and would be wise to learn how to navigate it. Scott is closing in on the end of his life and even now is creating new beginnings. I better write this now. I won't be able to when it's too late. After losing Charlie Kirk, a lot of us are wondering how we can possibly write another obituary. While there's so much to complain about the internet and social media, those mediums expanded the sizes of our communities, our influences, and indeed our families. Too often we find a new way to hate people instead of finding new people to love. Ooh. Wow. That's a powerful line. I wasn't expecting that. Scott Adams comes up in a conversation at every social event I host. How is Scott Adams doing? Will he make it? We all talk about streams we watched and the lessons we learned. It's a memorial, except he's still alive. Scott would love to hear that, which is why I have said so repeatedly. I've lost too many people via death or fallings out to leave feeling unexpressed. He's been a surrogate father figure and a mentor to millions of people. Scott Adams is not liked, he's loved. People don't like Scott Adams. They aren't just a fan of his, they love this man, and I do as well. I'm still living in denial of his fate. We all are. We'd been making a film about the meaning of life, and while Scott Adams has been both of our other films, we hadn't booked him for meaning yet. Then we found out he was going to take the ride of assisted suicide. Foolishly, we had assumed he'd always be around. Nobody ever dies, right? Your dad will be there to take your call the next time you phone home. Your friends aren't going anywhere. That's how we too often live. We could book Scott later. We reached out and he graciously agreed to be interviewed. We all knew it was going to be our last interview together. Scott and I are both efficient with our time. When a moment is over, it's time to go do something else. Obligations call. The crew pushed this one as long as we could. After the interview wrapped up and the gear was packed and it was time to go, there was an awkward pause. I broke it. Scott, we love you. He said, thank you. No, Scott, we love you. I mean it. We all do. We love you. None of us broke down crying. Not that there would have been any shame in that, but we no doubt all soon will. Well, then what is the lesson of Scott Adams? On a practical level, the lesson of Scott Adams is the power of showing up. Nobody works harder on a more regular schedule. You can set your clock to Scott's show. I wish, it's kind of like mine, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to move the mood. Too many of us wait for, wait for the muse of inspiration or the jolt of information to force us into action. Work every day, maybe in obscuring without tangible benefits for years. Eventually you'll hit your mark and go beyond. Scott plugged away with his streams from a small account after a huge career via Dilbert and soon became a must-watch, and then he transcended his role to becoming something much more. On a spiritual level, you might ask, why do we love Scott? It's not because he's so smart. He is. There are not a shortage of intelligent, clever, Machiavellian, and rich people with podcasts. When one of them dies, what is lost? All of that ego and desire for adoration, and does anybody even care? When those people fall while living, who will be there? Scott is loved because he's devoted his life to service to humanity. What is the meaning of life is the question we ask every interviewee, and Scott's answer, be useful to humanity. Despite pain, sickness, and inevitable death, Scott is doing his daily streams, serving his country and all of humankind until his end. He is a light to the world and a mirror for all of us. What exactly are we doing with the gift of life given to us by God? Scott believes in the simulation, but I believe in God, even this all out in the judgment. Are we doing enough for others? Are we doing anything for others? Like everyone else, I'm capable of throwing myself a pity party. Sometimes when life is going too well, I don't have real problems. I invent some. That's where the ego brings you, recursively worshiping itself, and when that fails, tormenting itself as each path leads to its own attention. May all of us live more like Scott Adams, and may God bless his immortal soul when he passes. P.S. I ran through this article through Grok for typos. The original version had immoral soul, where I meant to read immortal. I think Scott would have had a great laugh had that typo been left in. There you go. So, yeah, Scott Adams going into hospice care. He's been battling like a late-stage cancer for a while, and he's hung on for a long time. So a lot of people are saying, take a moment to say a huge prayer for Scott Adams and his family, or whatever you do. If that's not praying's not your thing. He's been moved to hospice care, been given only days left to live per multiple reports. Adams recently converted to Christianity, publicly making an announcement professing his faith. So, safe. Well, I don't know, what do you say? He's not dead yet, but pleasant journey, sir. Salute. Good morning, Lord Stanhope, by the way. All right. So, yeah. Didn't he have a failed restaurant? I have no idea if he had a restaurant. Hello, Darren Root, by the way. So, yeah, that's pretty sad. Scott Adams, I've listened to Scott Adams quite a bit. Very interesting dude. And over the last couple of years, his fucks farm has been barren. He just doesn't give a fuck. He's saying whatever he wants to, and good for him. So, real quick, let's say thank you to the people sharing the show, because that's what we do. Let's see here. What do we got? I've kind of been in some Twitter conversations, so to speak. But let's say thank you to the people sharing this show. Somnambul Nation always posting the show, greatly appreciated. Miss Wild Wolf also doing that. We're scrolling through, and we got this cute little let's go. If you haven't hit the thing at the top of this chat and reposted it or whatever, or said reply to that, let's go. I got to take that down anyway, so hang on. So there's that one. And also the cute little hockey kid. Thank you, Midnight, for doing that. And I can't repost. We know that. Somnambul Nation, will we need this today? Well, let's see. Let's go. 100% can of whoop ass. Reminds me of Stone Cold. And, of course, Ric Flair. Woo! Thank you, Ty Alexander. And people sharing the stream, CG, Ty Alexander, Somnambul Nation, Miss Wild Wolf. And we got you did the little kid. I was expecting that to be from Miss Wild Wolf, but that's from CG. Thank you. And let's see. I think, and then, of course, Mike Savage. Let us go. Let us go. So thank you, everybody. All right, news, CPI. Core CPI is out. Consumer Price Index. And it's bad news. I'm just saying. Bad news for Democrats. Core CPI comes in at 2.6% for December. The lowest inflation since March of 2021. Yeah, a little late reaction there, but there you go. That's fan-freaking-tastic. Core CPI, the BLS model where they exclude food and energy, has been above 2.5% since April of 2021. And so 2.6% is amazing. Core CPI at the lowest level since 2021. Wow. I thought, tariffs suck, but apparently not that bad. Hello, Jaeger Pony, by the way, my favorite Canadians in the house. Trump's economic booms, non-seasonally adjusted index came in at new all-time high. What is that? Oh, that's the stock market had been high too. Let's see what this dude. This is CNBC guy. He's very excited about everything he talks about. Here's the guy from CNBC.
We've been, and my favorite numbers, and they really are my favorite numbers, Joe. If we look at the index on the non-seasonally adjusted index, this started in 1913. The index number, 324. And
I don't know what that means.
He's
talking about treasuries?
Once again, it's a new all-time high. Pretty much, not all the time, but pretty much every month, we get a new all-time high. 1913.
Oh, I think he's talking about the S&P 500 or something. Anyway, the important thing is, not only did it come in lower than expected, it came in lower than it has been since March 2021. So that's good news for America. Fuck yeah. So there you go. In the past 33 months,
My CPI forecasts have been an average error of just 1 basis point for headline and 0 basis points for CPI. In the past 29 months since I have the Wall Street data, my CPI forecasts have been better than Wall Street by about 70% of the time. Okay, well, that's great. He's patting himself on the back. Other economic news, natural gas prices. On average, falls to $2.79 a gallon, lowest since 2021. That's a theme. I knew that. I just bought, I filled my 27 gallons of gas in my F-150 yesterday at $2.22 a gallon, which is great. Average national price of gasoline dropped to $2.79, the lowest we've seen since 2021 per AAA. 1 month ago, the average was $2.93. For obvious reasons, the White House is eager to spread this good news. In 43 states, average gas price is below $3 a gallon. In 30 states, it's below $2.75 a gallon, wrote the White House official rapid response account on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And in 17 states, it's at or below $2.50 a gallon. Look, the reason I'm getting at $2.22, I buy my gas at Sam's Club because the gas stations are still around $2.70 around here, $2.60, $2.70. But for Sam's Clubs, it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, that is good news. And guess what? Fuel often drives prices because everything has to be transported somewhere. So that's good news. Also on the economic front, well, the Fed is trending, partially because Jerome Powell is trending, and he's had a defiant path, so to speak. Rand Paul says no other institution has so much unchecked power. It's past time to audit the Fed. I thought they were already going to do that. It's been way past time to audit the Fed. Someone says, okay, Maduro's gone and the Ayatollah's on the way out. After we get rid of Powell and the Fed, can we get rid of the UN and NATO and all voting machines? And can we go back to the gold standard and start using cash again? Can we get back to incandescent light bulbs? No, I'm everything there. I'm going to give a bell, except for I don't give a shit about incandescent light bulbs. They're great, but now the LED ones, I mean, they're not as expensive as they used to be, and we save a lot of money using LEDs. And now they've got them. You can dim them. You can have, they look like incandescent lights, but they have a lot less energy. So everything but that on that list, but the incandescent light bulb. Now, I'm not saying that if people want incandescent light bulbs, they can't have them. I'm fine if people can have them. And in fact, if your son or daughter has an easy bake oven, you need an incandescent light bulb because that's how that shit works. But other than that, I'm very happy with my LEDs. LEDs actually make you sick, do they? I don't know. I have a toe, like my wife always says, someone who's old or dying or whatever, they have one foot stepped out of the canoe. I have a toe out of the canoe, so look, I had to laugh the other day because my beautiful wife, I love her. And she said something to the effect that, oh, do we have any more Dawn dishwashing liquid? I said, yeah, we have another bottle downstairs and where we keep the extra shit. And she goes, well, when we use that up, we can't buy it anymore. I'm like, why? Well, apparently it leaves some kind of forever chemical on your dishes. I'm like, you know what? We've been using Dawn ever since we got married, and if it has a forever chemical on it, how much can it have, and how much can it kill you? How much do you need to have ingest for it to kill you? Because we're still here, and, why would you keep extra shit? Well, not like in the Happy Gilmore sense of keeping extra shit, extra stuff, extra dish. Yeah, I have an extra bottle of dishwashing liquid. I didn't have room under the cabinet to put it, so I put it downstairs in the shelf where we put extra stuff. And it's, what? Anyway, so whatever. Dawn saves birds. Yeah, see? Dawn saves birds. Anyway, so Jerome Powell lowering interest rates for Biden just before the 24 election tells you all you need to know about the Fed's independence. Yeah, like I said, him pretending he's not political is bullshit. Moving on, other economic news of sorts. Treasury Secretary
Scott Bassett alleges political interference in Minnesota welfare fraud probes. This whole fraud thing that nobody's talking about because, unfortunately, Miss Good was, I'll say, tragically lost her life. Hang on a second. I got to say this one more time. Because there's some people on the internet that when they talk about Renee Good, the woman who was shot by the ICE agent here in the Twin Cities, sometimes they sound giddy about it, like they're happy she's dead. They're like she deserved it or whatever. And I look, I'm gonna say it one more time. She didn't deserve to die. Okay, she deserved to possibly be arrested and be in a courtroom right now against federal obstruction of law enforcement charges. She died because of her actions, in my opinion. But you know what? Yeah, heart breaks for Laken Riley. Absolutely. She earned it. She didn't deserve it. That's a good way to put it, Midnight. How you doing, Midnight XL and JB? What's up? But, no one should be happy that the woman's dead. I mean, she's a mother of three. They fucking won't let you forget. Oh, she's a mother of three. I don't want her to be dead. I would have much rather her just be taken out of the car, go the way. Now you got a court date and everything's good. And it probably, in this day and age, it'd probably get dropped anyway. So I'm not... Look, but the way that some people are acting like, oh yeah, she's dead, whatever. And I know the FAFO, that's a thing, but she kind of did. But no one should be happy that a person is dead. I'm not happy she's dead. And no one should have been happy Charlie Kirk was dead. No one should have been happy that, because people, and again, it's like, oh well, they celebrated when Ashley Babbitt's killed. They make fun of Ashley Babbitt. Well, I don't care. Two wrongs don't make a right. The forever chemicals will take care of the invaders. That's some funny shit. Here, Pony, I feel the same way for her as I do the preacher who went to North Sentinel Island. It sucks, but it was by their own decision that happened. Terrible, but preventable. Learn from it, move on. 100%. That's exactly what I'm saying too. Well, you said it way better than I did. All right, back to this though. Treasury Secretary Bassett, apparently federal probes have uncovered schemes defrauding Minnesota Medicaid and child care programs of potentially $9 billion with the B dollars. We already knew this, often through Somali-owned businesses billing for empty daycares, ghost vans, and non-existent services, like the $250 million Feeding Our Future scandal. Bassett launched an anti-fraud task force during his recent visit, accusing Attorney General Keith Ellison of interference based on tapes from donor meetings and calling Governor Tim Walz a coward for withholding police protection. While over 2 dozen face charges with millions repaid, politicians like Ellison and Representative Ilhan Omar deny involvement, and local leaders urge focusing on individuals amid ongoing federal crackdowns. Now, this is crazy. So we've watched the video of Keith Ellison at a meeting with a bunch of Somalis and talking about how they're going to keep his campaign funds filled and money makes the world go round and not. I am just awaiting for that shoe to drop. As you know, how much of that money they were acquiring has gone into Democrats' pockets. And, there's one case where a woman on the jury of the Feeding Our Future case attempted to bribe one of the juries $120,000. We know that it's a culture of lawlessness, of bribes and gaffes in Somalia, right? And so they've kind of brought that over here, and their attitude towards it is this is just how you do things. You bribe police officers, you bribe people on a jury, you bribe politicians, you bribe. So I want to know who they've been bribing, because they've sent millions and millions of dollars over to Somalia too. I want to know who they're bribing here besides jurors. By the way, now I read something yesterday where they said that woman who bribed the juror $120,000, the jury turned it down and reported it, and that person's in jail now. But somebody gave her $200,000 to bribe the juror. And she only bribed the juror of $120,000. She even defrauded the people trying to defraud the fraud juror. She pocketed $80,000 of the $200,000 she was supposed to use to bribe the juror. Can you make that shit up? Who wrote that story? That sounds like it sounds like what's a good lawyer story on the television? I don't know. There's no. Are you kidding me? It's just funny. So anyway, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stuns America by confirming there are tapes. Oh shit! Oh, we already knew that. Tapes of Minnesota AG Ellison taking money to stop investigations into Somalis. Let's hear what he says here. Let's hear the words of Mr. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary.
Part of following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him.
We saw the tapes.
Political favors to
we saw the tapes.
Investigations. So we'll see.
Yeah, he said he'd protect them. He would protect their businesses. They donated money to him. Now, I know that, by the way, some of the money that the Feeding Our Future people gave to his campaign, he did return, because that was kind of happening at the same time. And so, got to cover your tracks, but still.
But again, I don't want to get out ahead of the investigation. It's going to be very methodical. And Chris, I can guarantee you, when the bear trap snaps, we're going to get these folks. And again, we're going to follow the money, whether it's over the two counties here, in Minneapolis, St. Paul's, or whether it's to East Africa.
Okay, you get the idea. All right, so that's a new investigation. I'm going to skip through the rest of this real quick because I want to get to the topic that's this guy right here. Because it's a common theme as we're watching people talk about this Renee Good shooting and the ICE officers and what. So let's just go through this real quick. Biden. Trump has canceled rules forcing banks to give loans to illegal aliens. And I didn't even know this. It doesn't surprise me because there's a whole housing development building in Texas around illegal aliens. Anyway, the Trump administration canceled the Biden administration rules forcing banks to ignore immigration status for loan applications. On Monday, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the Justice Department eliminated the Biden guidelines that ordered lenders not to consider immigration status when evaluating loan and credit applications. Oh my gosh. You know what's funny? Because when I was in that business, you had to prove citizenship to be able to get a mortgage. You had to be able to prove citizenship because there's completely different rules for foreign nationals buying homes in the United States. So the idea that they were laxing on illegal aliens, that's crazy to me. So anyway, there's that. And also we said, we already got this. Oh, also Bessent said they're going to investigate groups funding Antifa and the riots and it's going on in Minnesota right now. There's a huge funding mechanism. I was reading through, someone wrote about it. I didn't save it though, so I won't go there, but you can read this article here. Also, Powell, and then apparently Jerome Powell has declared war on the Trump administration. That's in the video of him talking in the other link. So I'll just skip that too. We talked about it yesterday. Apparently Pete Hegseth toured SpaceX Starbase and announced Grok for Pentagon on the 12th of January. Hegseth visited the Texas facility as part of his Arsenal of Freedom tour. Oh my God, he's pretty theatrical. I'm just laughing at that. To boost defense tech like AI and drones, he praised Starbase as unmatched ingenuity and pledged to cut Pentagon red tape, Elon Musk style, with a chainsaw. A major announcement of the Pentagon will integrate X's AI Grok chatbot into networks later this month for secure, unclassified use, emphasizing war-ready applications, blah, 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 blah. So they're going to start developing more AI for the Pentagon. Yippee. That scares me, though. I'm sorry. AI scares me when it comes to any kind of weapon systems and robots and shit. But, hey, gotta get with the technology, right? I'm sure the Chinese are doing the same shit. All right, moving on. And there were major protests in the Twin Cities, obviously, over the shooting. This is fireworks protest erupts after ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Mother, you know, again, Grok summarizes what people write on the internet, so sometimes it'll sound like it's written by a lefty, sometimes it'll sound like it's written by a righty. On January 7th, ICE agent Jonathan Ross. Now they're putting his name everywhere. Protests. Just, you know what happened. Protests escalated nationwide with Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and mayors suing DHS over alleged racial profiling by over 2,000 agents, while DHS defends targeting criminals. Tensions peaked with fireworks aimed at agents, doxing, death threats to Ross, who had a $450,000 GoFundMe, and resignations at the Justice Department Civil Rights Division after no probe was launched. You can go through this. We've seen all this shit before. The only thing that I think I can add to it is that the big news was the Keith Ellison, the mayor of Minneapolis, Mayor St. Paul, are filing suit against the Trump administration for having these ICE agents coming into Minnesota. That's going to be interesting. Now, I'm sure that some dickhead judge is going to immediately vote, try to put a restraint on the Trump administration. I don't know how that's going to work because they're doing immigration enforcement, which is 100% purview of the federal government. So it'll be interesting to see how that lawsuit goes. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not going to get too much into that one. And then Mark Ruffalo's trending because he's funding a lot of the protests in Minneapolis through one of the organizations that he's involved with. And they wore those Be Good pins at the Golden Globe. Yeah, I'm not sure you want to be her right now. That's probably not good. But and also people are mad. In the New York Post, it says gut-wrenching footage shows grieving families in Iran wailing, desperately searching through rows of dead bodies for loved ones. And it seems like the media isn't talking about this a whole lot. Or maybe they are. I just haven't seen it. But I haven't seen it a whole lot of X. It is a trending topic. But and people are, we talk about it here. So who knows? Whose pockets is that money finding its way into? Well, that's a good question too. Add $500 billion to the defense budget. Oh no, we don't need to do that. Not really sure how I feel about the Pentagon using Grok though. Yeah, they said for unclassified stuff. So anyway, and also is that a no bid contract that Elon Musk just got? All right. Also, Trump has deployed more feds to Minnesota as Dems file a lawsuit against the administration. That's what I was just talking about. Let's see. Trump deploys 1,000 more feds to Minnesota. Additional Border Patrol agents to Minnesota's immigration operations continue while tensions flare. The deployment comes shortly after Minnesota's Democrat-led government filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration seeking to stop the deployment of federal agents in the state. Also, people are still denying that the officer was struck, like not touched at all. Hello, Annalyn. Here's an example of that.
Have you seen the new video that came out? What's your take there?
It looked like she was backing up. I don't know how anyone could get she was trying to go forward.
So what happens there, you think?
It didn't look like he was hit. I bet he jumped a little.
Basically, he's making it an excuse. We know the government is lying.
How do you think they're going to explain when the ICE agent fell here?
They're going to say that she ran him over. They're going to make all these excuses.
Like this too.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to him.
That's what it is. That's the body cam of the ICE agent who was hit.
They will run into these vehicles. I promise you. These guys are stupid.
Okay. Clearly they have a narrative. Please pray for protection of law enforcement. If you see them, offer words of encouragement. Look, okay. I've realized as I've been talking about this, because I've been arguing with people about this for a few days, and I'm not a fan of the federal government coming in and the fact that they kill someone. And again, it was a justified shoot and whatnot, but I don't want to be thought of as cheerleading for them either. But when Hotep Jesus asked me this the other day, he said, "Are you pro ICE?" And my answer was, well, first I said, I think what you're really trying to ask me is, are you gung-ho ICE? And I'm like, because I'm pro ICE. Am I gung-ho ICE? Do I think they should be able to do anything they want? No. But I think they should be able to do the job that we need them to do. Is, their job is to find people who've come into our country illegally and get rid of them, get them out of here, especially the nasty ones. And they've been doing a pretty good job of getting some nasty ones out of here. And they've got some not so nasty ones here. Like, I don't know why, for example, here's something that I don't know if I agree with or not. They're saying that here in the Twin Cities that they went into a school. Now, is that something that's just going to scare a bunch of kids? I'm not sure what I think about that. That doesn't sound right. But if they're going to serve a warrant at a house because they know that this guy who's got, criminal history and whatever, and he's a just a deportation order. A lot of these are just deportation orders they have, and people are trying to save people from being deported that already have a deportation order. They say, "Oh, you want due process?" They've already had their due process. They have a standing deportation order, and these nitwits trying to protect people that have the standing deportation order. What's the guy? Some guy from here, I think I have an article on one of this, so we're going to come back to this. So anyway, this Daily Wire has a whole bunch of just articles on what's happening in the Twin Cities, live updates. And again, Minnesota Democrats sued DHS for upholding immigration law. I don't know how far that's going to go. Are you saying that are they saying you shouldn't enforce immigration laws? Well, they think that this should be a sanctuary for people. Democrat officials in Minnesota announced they have filed a lawsuit on Monday seeking to force the Department of Homeland Security Operation Metro Surge, which has been a significant U.S. immigration custom enforcement action in the state. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, alongside Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, and St. Paul Mayor Kohali Her, and I don't know where she's from, but she's a pretty cool lady, actually, but she's total left-wing lunatic, criticized federal immigration enforcement action, claiming, quote, "The unlawful deployment of thousands of armed, masked, and poorly trained federal agents is hurting Minnesota. People are being racially profiled, harassed, terrorized, and assaulted. Schools have gone into lockdown. Businesses have been forced to close." Maybe, just maybe, if the state would assist these agents versus do nothing for them, maybe there wouldn't be so much chaos, because a lot of the chaos is because the local law enforcement isn't assisting with crowd control and things like that. So now you're forcing people who's not necessarily their job is to deal with crowd control or deal with traffic or whatever, having to do it themselves because they're being obstructed, which is a federal offense. It's not, yes, blue light scream, exactly. Them obstructing immigration is hurting Minnesota. Yeah, but they can't see that. They just see that, well, some of these people are being taken out. And here's an article in the American Thinker. Federal law is supreme on immigration. Yeah, and it states what the obvious should be. All right, I want to get to this guy because this is who I want to talk about today. So as you scroll through X every day, there are people out there who think they've got the perfect answer, the ultimate answer on what happened with Renee Good. Okay. They think they have figured it out. And so, for example, this person posted this guy's TikTok detailed analysis of the behavior of Renee Good and Jonathan Ross prior to her death. So, man, detailed analysis. Well, this must be really, really good, right? Let's see this detailed analysis by a TikToker called Barely Info. This is we're going to watch some detailed analysis, and I'm going to react to the detailed analysis, even though I've already seen it. This will not be a live reaction. Hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Let's watch this detailed analysis. It's going to be detailed. Did I mention it's detailed? Here we go.
Did Renee Nicole Good hit ICE officer Jonathan Ross with their car?
Yes. Everybody knows she did. But I think he's going to come to a different conclusion. Let's see this one. Oh boy.
I wasn't planning on making a video about this, but I keep seeing...
Are you sure you weren't? Because I'm planning on making a video about it, and I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, are you just trying to be humble brag?
People saying either that the footage proves he wasn't hit or that it shows he was hit, and both of those can't be true at the same time. And
okay, that's good analysis. They both can't be true at the same time. Of course, you can debate the degree to which he was hit. But he was definitely hit. There's no question. But he's going to say, no, he wasn't. Okay.
I'll be honest, when I saw this clip, I thought, that really does look like he was hit. Maybe I was wrong. So I gathered a bunch of angles, synchronized them up in an editing software to look frame by frame at what happened.
Oh, frame by frame. That's my favorite because life happens in slow motion. And so every single frame, you should be able to have a different thought about what's happening. You know, I hate that, right? Like, this shit didn't happen in slow motion. So the frame by frame can kind of show you body positions, but it can't tell you anything anyone was thinking because it just went by too fast. Anyway, let's see how it turns out.
And it turns out we can arrive at a definitive conclusion. So we'll do that together. Now, I'm not going to show blood or gore, but this is a sensitive incident.
Well, there's no blood. Yeah, most of the videos don't have blood or gore. So there you go.
So viewer discretion is advised.
Okay.
We start with this angle shot by bystander Caitlin Collinson, which shows Renee Nicole Good waving the first ICE car to pass in front of her, which they do. Then,
you know what's funny about this part right here? He's not talking about this, but you know what's funny about this? There are so many people on the internet that says, well, they went around her. She wasn't obstructing traffic. Okay, wait a minute. If they had to go around her, then she was obstructing traffic, even if she tried to wave some ICE agents through. By the way, I'm kind of curious too. Why did he start at this point? Because this is not, I mean, he's going to give detailed analysis about all this stuff right now. That really doesn't matter, right? Oh, and by the way, another thing that people keep saying, well, she was trying to make a U-turn. Okay, this street here, that is Portland Avenue in South Minneapolis. And Portland Avenue in South Minneapolis is a one-way street. And she is blocking the main part of the street. Now, normally there's cars parked in front of that house because they have parking on both sides of the street. Portland's one way, so you can't make a U-turn there. So she's obviously there to block traffic. And she had been doing it. She had been at this point for 3 minutes, but he's only going to talk about when the ICE agents come. She was waving them through. Well, they must have stopped for some reason, maybe to tell her to stop following them around. Anyway.
She waits for the second car to pass, but they stop and 2 ICE officers exit the vehicle. At this point, you can hear her say, "I'm pulling out."
Okay, wait a minute. Now she says I'm pulling out, and a lot of people saying that she was fleeing, right? Why didn't you just leave right at that moment? Why didn't she just leave right then and there? because her wife was outside of the car hoping they would provoke. Okay, I'm reading minds too, but this is my speculation. She might have been just trying to provoke something so they could get some video of whatever happens, because the wife's out there with a video camera outside the vehicle. Then why is the wife outside the vehicle if they're not planning on standing there for a few minutes? And clearly there's no U-turn to make because it's a one-way street. Anyway.
They tell her to get out of the car. They start yanking on the door handle and reach inside.
Now, look right here. You notice something that's missing as they walk up? I'm going to go back because you notice, because a lot of people say, oh, he positioned himself in front of the car. Now, we've talked about this at length, but I'm still showing you. Is there an ICE agent right there? Nah. And when does the ICE agent show up?
On the door handle
when she backs up. And
this already disproves claims by DHS head Kristi Noem, who said that she was belligerent towards them and attacked them as they were pushing their cars out in the snow. Now,
okay, no, it doesn't prove that at all. It doesn't prove that she wasn't belligerent towards them. Don't you think blocking the street with your vehicle is belligerent? Don't you think that blocking the street... Look, did she have... Look, and also look here. So she's parked sideways. Would she have had to back up to just continue off to her right? She could have just turned her steering wheel and left, right? Correct? Why did she even back up? Nobody knows. She didn't have to. She was blocking the street. All she had to do was turn right. She was backing up to try to get the officer to let go of her car. At least that's... I am speculating. I don't know. I can't read her mind, and it's no longer there to read. So... Anyway, well, she is a woman driver. Yeah, that too.
On the door handle and reach inside her vehicle. This already disproves claims by DHS head Kristi Noem, who said that she was belligerent towards them and attacked them as they were pushing their cars out.
Okay, again, and we're not even talking about attack them as they're pushing their car out. But look, Kristi Noem and Donald Trump said things that were incorrect. Okay, that's irrelevant. And again, everything he's talking about right now is irrelevant. And that's why when I asked on this post, I said, well, why did you, if it's a comprehensive view of everything, what does this have to do with anything? Well, why didn't you just, why didn't you talk about the 3.5 minutes where she was blocking traffic too? Because, wouldn't that be preliminary information too? And someone said, that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what happened before this. Everything he's talking about right now happened before the incident. It's irrelevant. Anyway, let's go.
In the snow. Now we get to this angle shot by Jonathan Ross himself, who's the ICE officer who killed Renee Nicole Good. Importantly, this was shot on a handheld smartphone, not a body cam. And when he passes in front of her car window, she tells him,
"That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you."
Which further shows that she was being calm and polite and trying to de-escalate the situations.
Okay. You know what else that didn't happen? You know what didn't happen there when she said that? He didn't pull out his weapon. Didn't think of her as a threat. She was, and was she de-escalating, or was just she trained well to not, not to arouse anything? Look, what does that matter if she was calm and de-escalating at that moment? That's not the moment she was shot. That's not the moment he even pulled out his gun. Doesn't matter. But, again.
So she could leave. As far as I understand this...
So she could leave? Her wife wasn't in the car yet. Hang on, here we go.
Which further shows that she was being calm and polite and trying to de-escalate the situation so she could leave. As far as I...
No, not so she could leave. That shot was before the other agents came to open her car door. She could have left right then and there. What do you mean, so she could leave? She already could leave. She could have left any time during the entire incident. Just turn her wheels to the right, drive away. Wife and dog in car. Bye-bye. So, what a stupid analysis. You just said, oh, the ICE agents came up to the car and tried to open the door. Well, look, this is when the ICE agents came out, the guy with the camera, phone, whatever the phone, that's him right there. He's already this far around the car. That car left, she could have followed right behind it. But she didn't. But again, even this part of it, even what I'm talking about right now, is not relevant to the shooting. All this shows is everything that happened up to the shooting. But this doesn't affect whether or not he should have shot her, whether or not whatever, if she got hit by the car. None of that matters. Like someone told me, it's irrelevant. If she was just making a U-turn, why did her wife get out of the car? Well, she couldn't make a U-turn there. She would have been U-turning into oncoming traffic because it's a one-way street. There is no U-turn there. It's one way. Oh my God. And that's funny because people who don't live here probably don't know that. But look at the position of her car right now. As soon as that car goes by her fat ass wife, girlfriend, whatever the fuck it is, could have gotten in the car and they could have left. No problem. Turn the wheel. Goodbye. So back to this point.
And 2, she's not behind the wheel, so her behavior is not at issue. Shot on a handheld smartphone, not a body cam. And when he passes in front of her car window, she tells him,
blah, 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 blah. I'm not mad at you. Don't care.
Which further shows that she was being caught.
But notice, do you hear the girlfriend or the wife or whatever, the spouse in the background? No, my point, if you were making a U-turn, like they say, there's no reason for her to get out. Well, yeah, that too. Yes, that too. Exactly. Why was the wife out of the car? Because they were plan on being there for a while.
Calm and polite and trying to de-escalate the situation so she could leave. As far as I understand, this is her wife, which you could argue is being slightly more confrontational, but one, she has every right to be.
Why? Why does she have every right to be? What? For what? Yeah, right to be. Okay. But really not in the middle of the street with your wife parked in the middle of the street blocking traffic. Excuse me, obstructing traffic. She waved some of them by. Whatever, you're still obstructing traffic. If there's a tow truck in the middle of the street picking up a stalled car, is the tow truck obstructing traffic even though some of the traffic can get by it? Yes.
And 2, she's not behind the wheel, so her behavior is not at issue at all.
Okay, then why are you bringing it up? Why are you bringing it up? Again. All right.
Moments before the shooting, you can see on Ross's camera that she's turning the steering wheel right.
Oh, wait a minute, though. You kind of gloss over an important part of this, didn't you? You gloss over just before the shooting, she's turning the steering wheel right. But wait a minute. What'd she do before that?
Issue at all. Moments before the shooting, you can see on Ross's camera that she's turning the steering wheel right.
Now, what's interesting on here too is he did, this is close up. You can't see the whole thing, but do you notice before she turns the steering wheel right, what does she do? She backs up with the wheels to the left and positions the car directly in front of him. He wasn't moving.
You can also see the wheels of the car turning right from the other angle.
Guess what? When your steering wheel's all the way to the left, the only way to make your car go straight is turn the steering wheel to the right. He has no idea how far she's going to turn that wheel. All he knows is she backed up going this way, and all of a sudden she's going forward if the wheel's turning that right in his direction.
Angle as Ross steps out of the path of the vehicle.
Steps out of the path? You mean when he's hit? When he gets pushed aside by the car?
Steering wheel right. You can also see the wheels of the car turning right from the other angle as Ross steps out of the path of the vehicle.
It hits,
okay,
it
third
pushes
angle,
right against his hip.
By ABC5 and ICE defenders say this shows Ross being hit. This is what is professionally referred to as potato quality footage. It's a block.
Oh, is that? No, it's not. That is internet slang for potato quality. Potato quality footage. That's from internet slang for people with a cheap webcam. That's not what he said. What's professionally known as?
Professionally referred to as potato quality footage.
Only on the internet, dipshit. Holy shit.
It's a blob of pixels, so it's really hard to see what's happening. But there are three really important things we can get
what are
from
the
this
three?
footage.
What are the three
One,
things?
The moment before the car purportedly hits him, if you synchronize the footage with the other angle, you can see that he was already outside of the path of the car.
Well, let's see what it
only
says.
looks like he was hit because this is from the same angle as a Hollywood film would shoot an action scene to make it look like a punch.
Oh, so it's a Hollywood film effect. Is that what it is? Really? Now, let's see if he shows the footage from the cell phone where there's actually, you can hear the hit from probably his arm or his hip, probably just swiped him, but it absolutely moved him. That's why his feet got pushed to the side.
Next with an actor's face. 2, despite the potato quality, as far as I can tell, these are his legs. I'm
right,
gonna highlight them in white so you can see
pushed
what they're
against
doing.
the vehicle.
You can see him shifting sideways as the car starts to move forward.
Because he's trying to get out of the way.
Importantly, he stays on both feet for the entire incident, which contradicts claims saying that the footage shows one of his legs being swept up by the hood of the car.
Okay, so someone got that wrong too. Great. Got it.
There's a 3D recreation of the incident by an NGO called Index Investigation based on
a 3D recreation of the event. Huh. I wonder if there's any way to manipulate that to the way you want it to look.
The angle from the back. And based on the footage, they depict him leaning on the side of the hood as he's shooting in the side window, which is exactly.
And why would he be leaning on the hood? Why would he be leaning on the hood? Because that's where the car pushed him. How did he get leaning on the hood? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Exactly what we can see in the potato video. And 3, this is the most important one. The snippet that is used from the potato video that is circulating most widely online as a case closed he was hit was tampered with. It doesn't have original sound. It's a less than 1 second clip playing on a loop, and it's...
So somebody took the same amount of time many times on a loop so you could see it happening over and over and over again with different sound. You know what else is different sound? When you showed his camera video, which also had sound that you dropped out of the video. Holy shit.
It's been sped up to make it look like the car is going faster than it was.
Is
This
it
is part of
sped
a
up?
deliberate disinformation campaign to change the narrative, so it's not your fault if you were misled by a clip.
Just show it over and over and over again. To show it over. Oh my God. Are you serious, dude?
That was tampered with. Finally, back to the officer's perspective, they say you can see him and hear him being hit by the car and that his body cam is knocked off. But
okay, and what is he going to say? Well, it wasn't, remember, it wasn't his body cam. It was his handheld phone. Qu'est-ce que c'est le point? That's what is the point in French.
remember, this isn't a body cam. It's a smartphone in his left hand. All you can see and hear is him pulling his gun out, using his left hand.
Wait, you can hear him pulling his gun out?
With his phone in it to lean on the hood of the car.
Because the car is coming straight at him? Like he's trying to brace himself so he doesn't get run over? Holy shit.
And firing 3 times. And cherry on top, the last thing she said to him was...
Holy shit! The last thing she said to him was, "That's fine, dude. I'm gonna come back to this."
And this is the first thing he said after killing her.
Okay, class. Okay, class. Let me ask you a quick question. Let's say you're in a parking lot at the grocery store and you park your car and you're sitting there because you're looking at something on your phone and some lady comes up and parks right next to you, right? And she opens her car door and she bangs your car and puts a big old door ding in your car and then just walks away and goes into the store. Is it possible that you would go look at your door and go, fucking bitch, what are you doing? You know you knocked my door. So let's say you're driving in the freeway and you're driving down the road and some asshole zooms past you and cuts right in front of you so he can get, because he missed the exit lane and he almost, cuts you off in traffic. Would you say something like, well, way to go, asshole, fucking bitch, or whatever? Would you call him that? Holy shit. I think if someone almost hit me with their car and kept going, I would probably say fucking bitch too, whether I shot her or not. Holy shit, is that stupid? And also, what does it matter what her last words to him were? That doesn't mean anything. She, in his mind, and I'm not even saying she was trying to run him down. She just may have been not paying attention when she hit the gas. Because she looked, but again, hers was a split second too. She's talking to the officer, she's backing up, and she hits her gas. Oh shit, that guy's right there. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if she was trying to run him down or not. But from his perspective, he probably thought that. She lined up the car and hit the gas right in front of him. So for his perspective, and that's the only perspective that matters in this shooting. Nobody else's perspective, what people think she might have been doing, whatever mind-reading tricks everyone has, the only thing that matters as far as a police shooting is, did he feel like he was in a situation where he could that would cause death or great bodily harm? Someone backing up, lighting their car up straight on you, even if they have turned right the second before they hit you, or they try to turn before they hit you, you're probably thinking, oh my God, this dumb bitch tried to run me down. That's the only question that matters. Everyone's out here with freeze frames. His feet were here. He was there. I'm sorry. None of this happened in slow motion. And I swear to God, if this goes to a trial, his defense lawyer better make that abundantly clear. She looks right in as she started to back up. No, she was still at the end of her backing up. She looked at him. She turned her head forward. When she was backing up, she was looking at the agents on her door. She backs up, and then as soon as she starts turning her wheel, that's when she looks this way. But, again, split second, she's trying to get away from them. I don't know what she was doing. I can't read her mind. But all I know is that from the perspective of the officer who's that vehicle stopped right in front of and went forward, that's the only perspective that anyone needs to know. Her intentions are irrelevant. That's what he saw, and that's what's gonna determine whether or not he's charged or whether or not this goes to a trial or anything. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he says afterwards. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, he was already angry with her." Really? Because he said nothing to anybody. That the wife or whatever who was taunting him, he never responded to her. He just kept going and went about his business. So we don't know. There's no animosity shown on his part either, until someone almost hit him with a car.
Worse from there, where they didn't even try to give her first aid and they prevented bystanders.
That's false. There was paramedics on it within 6 minutes. They secured the scene. And this whole
from helping her, including one who identified himself as a medical professional.
The one who identified himself as a medical professional. Really? Let's see. How do we know you're a medical professional? And how are you going to come in here and contaminate our scene? He could have been saying fucking bitch in the situation, not her, like one might do when they are alone and bump into something in the dark. Well, maybe, but I don't even care which one it is. If he was calling her a fucking bitch, probably because she just hit him with the car. She backed up, lined him up, and whether intentionally or not, lined him up and hit him with the car. I'd be yelling fucking bitch too. Not because I hate her, just because dumb bitch tried to hit me with the car. So, holy shit. can I say I'm a medical professional without evidence? Yeah, I mean, how do they know he's a medical professional? The video of that person, well, I just need to check her pulse. That doesn't sound like somebody who's trying to check trauma. I need to check her pulse. Who the fuck are you? How do I know that you're a doctor? And guess what? If that person's not a doctor and they contaminate the scene, whoo, there'd be some hell to pay. Guess how much they'd be bitching about that too.
Hope this was helpful. Let me know if I changed your mind.
No, it wasn't helpful. Now, so when I saw this video, I responded to it. This is not the beginning of the encounter. He starts by leaving out the entire first 3.5 minutes of the incident where she began blocking the road. And I'm like, someone's like, it's not relevant. Oh, this is the guy that, where's the other guy? I don't want this guy. I'll get back to him. It's not relevant. And someone else says it's incorrect. Also, she says incorrect. The longer video, in fact, shows multiple cars easily pass Good's Honda Pilot, including the vehicle carrying Agent Ross, which passes slowly but unobstructed by Good's vehicle. Again, he was obstructing traffic on a one-way street that had parking on both sides, and if you have to go around a car to, you have to be directed around a car to get by it, then you are impeding traffic. Just dumbasses. So anyway, the other person who replied, it's not relevant, but frankly, where he's clipped. This is a guy who's saying the reason the 3 minutes prior to this is not relevant doesn't matter. The fact that he's in front of the car when she's required to comply with an officer, she was ordered to do so, justification if he's in fear. Yeah, but here's the reason why the 3 minutes are relevant to this video. It's relevant in the sense that the maker of this video gives limited background information to make claims of necessity and intent without giving the full picture. Because she's saying, well, these ICE officers, had to stop their car instead of going around, whatever. He makes a bunch of claims. But he claims, for example, that the driver, Good, said, I'm not mad, and saying that proves that she was trying to de-escalate and wasn't a threat. But in its background, he's just mind reading. He's mind reading whether or not she's a threat. Clearly, she wasn't a threat at that moment. That's probably why the officer didn't draw his weapon at that time. It doesn't mean that she wasn't a threat when she redirected her vehicle, putting him directly in the path and drove towards him. It's like saying, oh, I had a really nice conversation with Jeffrey Dahmer over coffee. That proves he wasn't a threat. Same argument, right? I know it's an extreme example, but you get the point. So anyway, these there's people all over the internet doing this. And every time new information has come out that, that disproves their last stupid assertion, like especially the U-turn. Oh, she was just making a U-turn. Not on a one-way street, she wasn't. Oh, she wasn't blocking traffic because she waved some cars to go by. She was still obstructing traffic if they have to go around her car. And there's also several other cars in this little caravan chasing around these ICE agents, obstructing their way to get somewhere. So anyway, I'm not getting any articles today. So there you go. That's it. There's some stuff open. The aggregator's open. Let's just call it a day because there's so many of these on here. Just these people are doing these analysis that means nothing. The only analysis you need to figure out, is it possible, and they will not concede this point, is it possible that the officer saw her as a threat when she backed up and had her car directly in front of him and changed the gears to go forward? Is that possible? And they will not concede that. They are insisting that he made a decision to kill her as soon as they got there. They're claiming that he wanted to kill somebody that day. I don't believe that any officer wants to go out and kill somebody. And I'm pretty sure he would have much rather never had this encounter whatsoever. He is there to do his job. And I personally think some of the stuff that ICE is doing is overzealous. I think they're doing important work, but some of it is overzealous. And right now, there's people fighting in the street. There was a video of some, one protester and another protester, and they got in a fight in the street. And I kind of wish everyone would just pull back for just a little bit and let heads cool. I wish the government leadership of Minnesota and the cities around here would shut the fuck up and maybe tell the people here to de-escalate too, because the chaos is as much from the people protesting, and it maybe even more, well, definitely more than the ICE agents. Maybe they get together and say, hey, look, we have warrants for a bunch of these people. Would you stop obstructing us getting the ones we have warrants for? It's just stupid. Anyway, links are in the chat. I'm going to put them in the description of this video too. I'll be back tomorrow, hump day, and everything else that goes with that. Y'all have a great day. Got to go. My name's PDawgKnight. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.